Men fall in love with uncertainty, not confusion or games, but a very specific kind of emotional uncertainty that most women don't even realize they are destroying. Because what I see all the time is this. The moment a man pulls back, a woman leans forward. She tries to close the gap, fix it, understand it, or secure it. And in doing that, she removes the very thing that would have made him come towards her. Now, I've spent over a decade working with thousands of women, and I can tell you this is one of the most common patterns I've seen in dating. Women doing everything from a good place and still ending up confused, rejected, and still in something that may never move forward. So in this video, I want to show you what uncertainty actually looks like in real life, not theory, not concept, but how it plays out in moments you've probably already experienced. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. And just quickly, if you're watching this and thinking, I need to actually apply this properly, I've put together a free step-by-step training inside my House of Swans, and it walks you through exactly how to handle these moments in real life, not just understanding them. You can follow the link in the description or my bio and get access to that. Now, let's get into this properly. Point number one, when you chase clarity, you kill curiosity. Have you ever felt a man pull back and almost immediately felt the urge to figure out what was going on? Not because you're needy, but because the silence feels uncomfortable. And before you even realize it, you're sending a message. Hey, is everything okay? Or you're calling a friend, analyzing it, checking through his last scene, trying to close the gap as quickly as possible. It feels harmless. It even feels mature. But this is where everything shifts. It reminds me of when you're watching a really good series. You know, the kind where the tension is building, the storyline is developing, and you're fully locked in. Now imagine halfway through, someone skips to the end, tells you exactly how it finishes, who ends up together, what happens next, how it plays out. You don't feel relieved. You feel robbed because uncertainty was what made you invested. That is exactly what happens when a woman rushes to define something too early. She removes the emotional tension that was drawing him in. Here's the lesson. When you chase clarity too soon, you take him out of the process of discovering you. And that process is where attachment forms. So what do you do instead? You hold your position. You don't double text. You don't try to figure him out in real time. You don't make his silence mean something that requires action. You let him come back to you. And when he does, you respond warmly. But you don't overcompensate, because the goal is not to secure the connection. The goal is to observe whether he chooses it. Point number two, if you're still focused on him, you haven't actually pulled back. You can stop texting a man and still be completely available to him. Most women think pulling back is physical. I haven't messaged him. I'm waiting for him to reach out. But mentally, you're still with him. You're checking his last scene, replaying conversations, talking about him all day to anyone who will listen, waiting for the phone to light up. And here's the truth. If your energy is still on him, he feels it, girls. Not consciously, but energetically, spiritually. There's no real absence. And without absence, there's nothing for him to move forward. It's like when you leave a room, but your music is still playing loudly. Technically, you've gone, but your presence is still filling the space. Anyone in that room feels you there. Now compare that to when everything goes quiet. The music stops, the energy shifts, and suddenly the room feels empty. That's when people notice you're gone. That's when your absence becomes real. Most women leave the room, but leave the music on. Here's the lesson. Real distance is not just behavioral, it's internal. So what does that actually look like? It means you stop monitoring him. You stop checking his activity. You stop building stories in your head, and you stop making your day about whether he reaches out or not. And when he does reach out, You don't collapse into over availability. You stay warm, you stay grounded, but you stay in your life. Because here's the shift I need you to understand. You're not pulling back to get him to come forward, you're pulling back to return to yourself. And when that is real, that's when he feels the difference. Got it? Good. Point number 3. When you truly pull back, he stops reevaluating you. So what actually happens when you do this properly, not performatively, not pretending, but when you genuinely return to yourself, like I say to my girls, come back home, come back to self, something shifts in him. And it's not instant, but it is predictable. Think about the story of Jacob and Rachel. Jacob didn't fall in love with Rachel because she was constantly available or trying to secure him. He fell in love with her beauty, and then he worked for her. An additional 7 years after he had been scammed for the first 7 years. And the Bible says those 7 years felt like only a few days to him because of how much he loved her. Now, why is that important? Because his love didn't grow despite the wait. It grew because of it, evidenced by his preference of Rachel over Leah. One woman he made 0 effort to get. The other he labored a total of 14 years. This wasn't just a beauty contest between 2 sisters. Leah was not earned. She was imposed on him. Leah was a sure thing, and Rachel was a prize to be won. The space, the effort, the uncertainty of when he would truly fully have her is what deepened his attachment. Here's the lesson. When you pull back properly, a few things begin to happen in a man. First, he notices the shift. You're no longer predictable. You're not where he left you. Second, he feels there's a discomfort there, not panic, but awareness. Something that was certain no longer is. And third, he starts thinking about you, about his actions, whether he's done enough, about whether he could actually lose you. And this is the moment everything changes, because he moves from assumption to intention, from passive to active, from taking you for granted to choosing you. And this is why you don't interrupt the process. You don't jump in halfway through and say, hey, where do we stand? Or I just need clarity, because he is getting there. But he can only get there if you give him the space to feel it. Got it? Good. Point number 4. When he comes back, don't return to the old you. This is where most women lose the man after they've done everything right. He pulled back, you got your energy together, you stopped chasing, and then he comes back. He texts you, calls you, wants to see you, and suddenly everything in you softens. You feel relief, you feel excited, and without realizing, you go back to how you were before. More available, more talkative, more invested. And just like that, the dynamic resets. It reminds me of the story of Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. She had heard about Solomon's wisdom, his power, his reputation, but she didn't rush toward him in awe. She came to test him, to observe him, to see for herself if what she had heard was actually true. And when she arrived, she didn't lose her position. She didn't become overly impressed or give herself away. She remained composed, present, observant. And it was that energy that made the interaction powerful. Not desperation, not excitement, but discernment. Here's the lesson. When a man comes back after distance, you don't move towards him like you've been waiting. You meet him from where you are. So what does that look like? You're warm, but you're not overly available. If he calls, you don't give him all your time and spend hours on the phone with him. You give him a moment and then you return to your life. If he texts, you respond when you're grounded, not from urgency. If he wants to see you, he fits into your world, not the other way round. And most importantly, you observe him. Has his behavior changed? Is he consistent? Is he leading? Because this is not about getting him back. This is about deciding if he's worth keeping. Distance doesn't change anything on its own. What changes everything is who you are when he returns. If you go back to overgiving, he will go back to underinvesting. If you stay grounded, warm, and slightly out of reach, you create a new standard. And now he has to rise to meet you. Here's the truth. Men don't fall in love with constant access. They don't fall in love with certainty that costs them nothing. They fall in love in the space where they have to lean in, where they have to wonder, where they have to choose you without being managed into it. And most women don't lose the man because he didn't like them. They lose him because they removed the very tension that would have made him invest. Here's the part most women still get wrong. Pulling back is one thing. Pulling back properly is something completely different, because distance done wrong makes him disappear. Distance done right makes him commit. And most women don't know the difference. So if you want to know how to disappear in a way that actually makes him lean in, pursue, and move things forward, watch this next video right here, because that's where I show you exactly how to do it without playing games, without losing your softness, and without pushing him away. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next one. In the meantime, take care of you. Love you lots.